Just firstly, before I get into this video, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched Apex Legends Trickshot Montage Part 1, who liked, commented, subscribed. I appreciate that a lot. That video has gotten to over 10,000 views now, which isn't a lot to a lot of people, but that is heaps for me, for a channel as small as mine, so thank you to everyone for that. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to be making a part 2. I've had a lot of people asking for more Apex Legends trick shots, so I have been playing Apex lately. I'm going to be making a part 2 as soon as I can, but I want the shots to be stepped up a bit from last video and a bit better quality. So I'm going to be trying to hit some banger trick shots for you guys. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be coming soon. Anyway, this video, as you can see in the title, is a movement guide, movement/trick shotting guide. Basically how to make your movement and gameplay look a bit more stylish and move around the map, you know, a bit quicker and you know, a bit more efficiently, efficient movement. So we're going to be going over everything from basics, like just basic slide jumping to gain speed. We're going to go over B-hopping, backwards B-hopping, things like that. I'm not going to go into too much detail on each individual thing. For example, B-hopping, I could talk about B-hopping for ages, but I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. I'll give the basic inputs in that, but if you are really struggling to pick up B-hopping, I suggest going to watch a B-hopping specific guide. They'll give usually a lot more detail specifically about bunny hopping. Anyway guys, let's get into the video. So the first thing I'll be going over is just basic slide jumping when running around. So well, one, obviously, I'm assuming if you're watching this video you know that you run quicker when you do not have a gun in your hand. So if you have your knife out or sheath your weapons, if you have just your fists out or your heirloom if you've got one, you run faster. As you can see, I run slower, pick up a bit of speed. So when you are just running around the map or chasing down someone, I suggest running with your melee weapon or your fists in your hand. And then slide jumping. Okay, so slide jumping is extremely simple. You just want to slide and then jump. You'll get a little boost of speed compared to if you just sprint. But you do not want to spam slide jumps. If you do it too quick, as you can see, it'll slow you down. So there's a delay. It's about slide jump about that much. You can slide jump about that often without losing any speed. You actually gain speed from it. So that is something you want to get in the habit of doing all the time when moving around the map and even in the middle of fights and whatnot. Because it is very good for running down enemies, or say you've got an enemy low and you want to chase them down, quick slide jump, easy spray down with something like an R99. Very good for chasing down players. Next thing I'm going to be talking about is bunny hopping. Most players, I think, know how to bunny hop, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't see a lot of people bunny hopping, but if you come from a game like Counter-Strike, then it's very easy to translate those skills over to Apex Legends. Because bunny hopping is essentially just, it is very helpful if you have your jump bound to scroll wheel. I have my jump bound on scroll wheel down. So when I scroll down with my scroll wheel, it jumps. The reason for this, making bunny hopping easier, it's easier than clicking spacebar over and over. If you just keep scroll wheeling, it might feel a bit weird at first if you change this bind, but once you get used to it, it is 1,000 times better, I can promise you that. So yeah, try and get used to having scroll wheel bound to jump, and basically just want to practice the timing of this. Just jump, 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 bunny hopping on the spot essentially. Okay, now for Apex Legends, bunny hopping works while crouching. So if you crouch and then you strafe, so if you're jumping and you look in the direction you're strafing, so I'm strafing to the right, I jump, I'm only holding D and I'm looking to the right, and then I'm only holding A and I'm looking to the left. You can see I change direction in the air. I do kind of a curved jump compared to if I just do it holding W. It's not going to really change my direction too much. So basically that is what you want to implement into your bunny hopping. So good way to practice and know if you're doing it well is to just crouch on the spot, then start jumping and strafing left and right. So you can do this holding W as well. So if you are looking to the right, W and D, looking to the left, W and A. Like I said, if you need more detail on this, I suggest going and watching. There are heaps of bunny hopping tutorials and guides out there. Maybe I'll do a more in-depth one specifically on bunny hopping at some point, but for now I just want to cover a lot more things, so I don't want to go into too much detail on any particular topic. Basically, the way when I started to know if I was doing it well is to just crouch on the spot and then start bunny hopping, strafing left, strafing right. And you can see I picked up a lot of speed without sprinting. I'm moving at sprinting speed without sprinting at all. Then you can do this backwards. Doing it backwards is just reversed inputs, which basically you want to... This is a bit more advanced and it's obviously just for style really. But isn't too hard to do once you get the hang of it. And that is essentially just reversing the inputs. So you want to be holding A and S while looking to the right, and S and D while looking to the left. And then, once you practice that a lot, you can get into some more stylish things like switching direction halfway through your bunny hop. But that is, again, just for style points. That's the only reason I do it. The next thing I want to talk about is the the right angle turn whilst in the air, which basically looks like that. So essentially what you're doing is slide jumping to start. Then you want to look in the opposite direction of the direction you want to go. So I want to go to the right here around this corner, so I'm going to look to my left. So you want to jump, look to your left. Then you want to push S and D. Some people do it in different ways. I've seen some guides where they say you kind of roll your fingers across DSA. But I use DNS. So DNS, and then I just hit A as I'm coming out of it. Sometimes it works fine with just DNS, but you don't get as much of the right angle turn if you don't hit A towards the end. I kind of hit S and D at the same time, and then A as I'm coming out of it. And you can really change your momentum whilst in the air using this. Very good for getting around corners or through doorways really quickly. But yeah, very useful. Can take a little bit of practice to get the hang of. But yeah, so slide jump, DSA, or DNS, and then A for me. There's a few different ways you can do it. You can experiment with it and find which way you prefer. And then obviously if you're doing it in the opposite direction, it's going to be AS and D looking to your right as you're heading to your left. Opposite inputs, pretty simple as well. Yeah. And the next thing I want to talk about is the wall bounce, probably my favorite movement technique and a lot of people's favorite movement technique in Apex Legends, which is just the wall bounce. If you don't know what it is, it looks like this. You basically slide jump and you can kick off of a wall and get a little boosted jump off of it. It is really good for going for trick shots. That's what I use it for most commonly in game, going for trick shots. If you watch my trick shot video, you see there's a few wall bounce clips in there, and yeah, basically this is going to be how you do it. Again, you want to run up to the wall, slide jump before you hit it, and you can see there if I just slide and jump at this, we'll go over to this wall because it might be a bit easier for you guys to practice on a wall like this. Yeah, you can do it from any direction. You can do it just running straight at the wall. Probably a good way to practice to start. But as you can see, if I just slide and jump at the wall, I kind of stick to it for a second. I start to wall climb and I stick to the wall. And now, if I basically run, slide, jump, you can see the delay. I stick to the wall, then I jump off. So this is a very easy way to practice it. You have a lot of time between hitting the wall and being able to jump, but you obviously want to minimize that time and get it to a smooth, smooth motion like that. So yeah, practice. You can practice straight on. The only thing is, if you come in on an angle like this, when you slide jump, you need to turn and look into the wall. So you are facing straight, parallel with the wall, facing straight on before you do your jump. And you should jump off the wall like that. Like I said, this trick is absolutely amazing in game. Some people seem to think that it has no use, but it gives you... I mean, there are some crazy things you can do with this. Obviously, mad outplays in the middle of a fight. You can use this to get up to higher places quicker, and you can also use it to jump up walls if you change direction rapidly in the air. It can be a little bit fiddly when doing it like that. I don't do it like that much, so I'm actually not very good at it. But if you do slide jump and then hold W after it, you can jump on top of the wall. Like I said, I'm not very good at that, so but yeah, basically the key to this is sliding, jumping, let going of every directional input. You don't want to press W, A, S or D between jumping and hitting the wall, and then you should stick to the wall if you don't put any inputs in. And then I use scroll wheel to jump. You can use spacebar for this. It doesn't really matter. It's just about getting the timing and that fluent slide jump to wall bounce off. Obviously, really good for going for trick shots and stuff like that. And yeah. So this next technique is actually very similar to the wall bounce. I believe they call this surfing, and it's done in a very similar way to the wall bounce. You want to slide jump, same as you would when going into a wall bounce, but then you want to hold jump and D if climbing to the right, or A if climbing to the left, and basically you can climb sideways along the wall, and then you can wall jump out of it at the end. This technique I don't actually use that much, even though it's really cool. As you can see, you kind of come in, you go climb sideways along the wall, and then you can jump out of it at the end. Revenant can climb higher on walls, so I do believe he can climb further sideways as well. But yeah, this technique it looks super weird when you see a player do it, so you can really put your enemy off by using this technique, and obviously go for some really cool outplays or really cool trick shots when using this. It's kind of niche, but yeah. Like I said, same thing. You want to slide, jump, hold right, and obviously hold right. Say if you're on keyboard, that's going to be D. It's going to be A if you're going to the left, and yeah, climb sideways and then jump out. It's very similar to the wall bounce. You're just climbing sideways on the wall before you jump off. You don't have to jump off if you don't want to. You can just climb like that, but I think it's more exciting if you jump off. The next technique I'm going to talk about is the grenade jump. Let me get a body shield. Alright, a few things before we get into the to the grenade jump, sorry. I am playing Wraith, a low profile hero who takes 5% more damage from all sources, including your own grenades. And then grenades will only knock you back if they hit your health. So if you're trying to do this as a fortified character like Gibraltar, and you have a full purple or gold body shield, one grenade will not break your whole body shield. Therefore it will not hit your health, and you will not get the speed boost from the grenade. So keep that in mind. I haven't done a grenade jump in a while, so hopefully I don't fuck this up. So yeah, basically, way to avoid, obviously if you're playing a low profile character, the grenade will do about 105 damage even with full purple or gold body, and it will break the body, hitting your health bar, therefore giving you the speed boost because it's hitting your health bar. I'm not sure why it only knocks you back when hitting your health bar. I have no idea why, but that's just how it works. I'm just going to use a blue body shield for this, just to make sure it does actually break my shield. I haven't done a grenade jump in a while, like I said, so hopefully I don't fuck this up. The grenade takes about 4 seconds to explode once you throw it, and I threw that one off the edge. Okay. Alright, so we're going to place the grenade on the ground basically, And as you can see, I get a massive boost of speed off of that. So I jump from there to about here. It's a huge jump. Obviously it does do a lot of damage to me. And let me just switch characters and switch back.
This time will be different.
It's obviously going to do a lot of damage to me, and it's not the smartest tactic for rushing. Say there was a squad over there, but it is very cool for going for trick shots. And like I said, it's all about style points. So yeah, you want to get the timing of the actual grenade blowing up. Like I said, I haven't done it in a while, so
now for the right
I'm a bit out of practice, but about 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, I'm a bit out of practice with grenade jumping, so I just got a clip from one of my old videos of me doing one in-game. The timing is about 4 seconds, maybe a little longer, but just mess around with it and you'll get the hang of it. So yeah, it takes about 4 seconds roughly for the grenade to explode. You also can do this if you throw the grenade straight up in the air. It will come down and explode just before it hits the ground. So yeah, you want to get the timing, get hang of the timing on this, and see I was a little bit too far under it there. But yeah, you want to get the hang of the timing of the grenade exploding. This is very niche just for trick shotting, going for a cool shot, or you know, just getting the style points, like I said. And I would not recommend using this if you're, you know, playing competitively or, you know, really trying to win. But yeah, very cool, very fun technique. And I actually have another video. I'll put the link to my other video in the description, but basically what that is me showing how to use the wall bounce and the grenade jump in unison to get a really cool boosted jump where you can basically wall bounce and grenade jump at the same time. I'll try and show you an example real quick. So I had to steal a couple more clips from my other video. These clips are taken from my other movement guide that'll be in the description. But basically it shows the wall bounce grenade jump being used together. Something I discovered in practice range. This is probably the hardest movement technique in this video. You need to be very comfortable wall bouncing and very comfortable grenade jumping before you try and combine these. But you know, if you do pull it off, and you do pull it off with a sick trick shot, it is well worth it in my opinion. Very cool technique. Anyway guys, I think that's going to be it for this movement guide. There are a lot more tips and tricks I could have gone over with movement, specifically involving things like zip lines and a lot of other movement techs, more basic ones and some quite advanced. If you do want to learn some of that stuff, there are a lot of other movement guides for Apex Legends. I just made this video because I've had quite a lot of people request it, so then I thought I'd make it for a bit of fun, and for those of you that want to watch. If you are looking for any other movement guides, like I said, there's a lot out there. ACU, obviously one of the best Apex players, he has a movement guide, covers pretty much everything as far as I know. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I watched a bit of it back in the day, and as far as I know, he covers everything. He covers zip lines, all the movement for competitive and things like that. This movement guide is not really more for the competitive side, you know. A lot of these are techniques that are used to make your movement look a bit more stylish. You know, go for cool trick shots and whatnot. If you are a player that likes to go for those style points like me, get some cool trick shots, then these techniques should really help you. But it's just about being creative with them, using them, you know, practice each individual one, practice your wall bounces until it feels natural, practice your B-hopping, your backwards B-hopping if you want to learn that. And then you should be able to combine these while traversing the map, and it should feel very natural, very fluent. It'll make you a lot harder target to hit, and just a lot better player with your movement in general. So good luck. I hope these tips really did help. I know I didn't go into too much detail on anything, but like I said, there are a heap of other movement guides out there if you want to check them out. Thanks for watching, guys. Also, before I go, I do stream almost every single day on Twitch. If you are interested in watching me play Apex Legends live or other games such as Overwatch, Valorant, I stream on twitch.tv/9livesau. I'll put it in the description if you are interested. Come over and have a chat, and even if you have any questions and I'm on Apex, I'll be happy to show you some stuff live on Twitch. Anyway guys, thank you, hope you enjoyed, have a good one.